Hi everybody, today we're going to read The Teeny Seed by Eric Carle. What do you guys see on the cover of this book? I see a flower. I see the stem, I see the leaves of the flower, and I see the petals of the flower. So since the title says The Tiny Seed, maybe we're going to learn how to grow a flower. Maybe what the steps to growing a flower, what plants need, flowers need. What do you guys think this book is going to be about? Let's read to find out. The Teeny Seed by Eric Carle. It is autumn. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? So it is autumn. Autumn is another word for fall. So sometimes you could say fall or autumn. It's the same thing. So over here it's the season of fall. So there's a strong wind that's blowing, a very strong wind that's blowing. So it blows the flower seeds high in the air. So look, it's blowing the flower seeds high in the air and carries them far across the land. So one of the seeds, a teeny smaller than all the other ones. So look, let's find the teeniest seed. Can you find the smallest seed out of all the others? I think it's this one right here. I think this is the smallest seed out of all the others. So it's saying, will it be able to keep up with the others? So what do you guys think? Will this seed be able to keep up with all the others? Or will it get lost? So look how tiny this seed is and look how big the rest of the seeds are. So maybe this seed might not be able to catch up with the rest of the seeds. What do you think? Let's see what happens. One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up it goes. It flies too high and the sun's hot rays burn it. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. So look, I see the hot sun. Look at the hot sun. Look how hot it is. So this is the hot sun. And one of the seeds flies a little bit too high. And look, the sun's rays burns the seed. Look, you see the flames on it. And then, can you find the tiny seed? Where is the tiny seed? Where is the tiny seed? I see it, do you? It's right over here. So the tiny seed is right here. And it's flying along with his other friends that are a little bigger. Look, these seeds are bigger than him. But so far, he's catching up. So what do you think will happen? Where do you think all these seeds are going? What do you think the little seed is going to continue to catch up with his friends? Do you think the little seed is going to get lost? Where is the little seed going with his friends? Maybe they're going to go meet up other seeds. Maybe they're going to get planted and become flowers. Let's see what happens. Another seed lands on a tall, icy mountain. The ice never melts, and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. So look, so here is another seed. So here's another seed, and it lands on a tall, icy mountain. So this seed lands on a tall, icy mountain. So the ice never melts here, and the seed cannot grow. Why can the seed not grow on the tall, icy mountain? Let's think, what do seeds need to grow? So what do they need? So seeds need plenty of water, seeds need sunlight, and seeds need warmth. So seeds need those three things. So On a tall icy mountain, is there lots of sunshine? No. Is there warmth? No, because look, if the seed is on the ice, on the snow, it's not warm. And will it be getting plenty of water? So it's gonna be, seeds need to be warm, and the sun. So if the seed is on the mountain, it's not gonna be warm, and it's not gonna be getting lots of sunshine, so the seed will not be able to grow. So the rest of the seeds fly out, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. So all the other seeds are going, but the tiny seed is not going as fast as the others. Can you guys find the tiny seed? Where's the tiny seed? I see it right here. So look, the rest of the seeds are here, and this is where the tiny seed is. It's right over there. So the rest of the seeds are here, and this is where the tiny seed is. It's right over here. So let's see what happens. Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. The others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. So now they're flying over the water. So now they fly over the ocean. They fly over the ocean. So one seed falls into the water. So one of the seeds gets lost because it falls into the water. So the rest of the seeds are still flying. And then the tiny seed is not flying that high. It's flying pretty low. It's flying really close to the water. Look. Can you find the tiny seed? Do you see where it is? I see it right over here. And look how many big seeds there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 big seeds. 6 big seeds. There's 6 big seeds. And there's one small tiny seed over here. And look how low the tiny seed is flying. It's flying really close to the water. It's flying really close. It's flying really close to the water. So where do you think all these seeds are going? We don't. So they flew over the water. They flew over the cold mountain. Where do you think they're going? Maybe they're going to go somewhere warm. Maybe they might go somewhere warm and find soil so they could turn into a flower. Maybe they're going somewhere warm. Or maybe they're going to find other seeds. Let's see where they're gonna go. One seed drifts down onto the desert. It is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. So one seed drifts down onto the desert. So one seed goes down onto the desert. And in the desert, so why can't a seed grow in the desert? So this is a desert. Why do you think a seed cannot grow in the desert? Let's think. How is a desert? A desert is hot and dry. So desert is hot and dry. So if a seed gets planted in a desert, it is warmth. There is a lot of warmth. They get plenty of sunshine, but dry. So what does dry means? That the seed won't be getting any water. So the seed would be warm. It would get sunlight, but it won't be getting any water. Can a seed grow without any water? No, right? A seed needs water, so a seed cannot grow without water. So if we put a seed in a desert, it won't grow because it would get no water, and it cannot grow without any water. The seed will just dry out. So look, now they're flying over the hot desert. And look, can we find the little seed? I see it right here, the little seed, along with the other big seeds. Let's see where they go next. Finally, the wind stops and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. So now the wind stops. So now the wind finally stops and the seeds fall gently down to the ground. So now the wind stops and the seeds fall gently down to the ground. So look, they fall gently down to the ground. And what do you guys see on this page? I see a big bird. I see a big bird. I see a big bird over here. And what's the big bird doing? It's eating a seed. It's eating a seed. Good. So the bird comes and eats a seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. So why do you think the tiny seed is not eaten? Why do you think that the bird does not eat the tiny seed? Why do you think? I think because the tiny seed is so small that the bird did not see the tiny seed. Look how small the tiny seed is. Look how small it is. It's so tiny. I don't think the bird even saw the tiny seed. So because it was so small, the bird didn't see the tiny seed, but instead saw the bigger seeds and took a bigger seed to eat instead. So because the tiny seed was so little, the bird didn't see it. And instead, the bird took a bigger seed, not a smaller seed. It is so small that the bird does not see it. So the bird does not see the small little seed. He sees the other big seeds. Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they are going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch, but the tiny seed lies very still, and the mouse does not see it. So now we are in winter. So now it is winter. So before it was fall, now it is winter. So now after the long trip, the seeds settle down and just as if they are going to sleep on the earth. So the snow, it's starting to snow, and the snow is going to cover the seeds like a white blanket. So the snow is going to cover them like a white blanket. So now look, we see, what's this over here? A mouse. So the mouse lives in the ground and eats a seed for lunch. So the mouse is going to eat one of the seeds for lunch. But the tiny seed is so little. Does the mouse see it? No, the mouse does not see the tiny seed. And instead, the mouse eats a bigger seed. Now it is what comes after winter. So we have fall, winter, then what's the next season? Spring. So spring. Now it is spring. It's spring. So now it is spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by, the sun shines, rain falls, the seeds grow so round and full. They start to burst open a little. Now they are not seeds anymore. They are plants. First, they send roots down into the earth. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and air. There is another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. It is a big fat weed, and it takes all the sunlight and the rain away from one of the small new plants. And that little plant dies. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late. Hurry! But finally it too starts to grow into a plant. So look, now we are in the season of spring. So first we have fall, winter, spring, and then summer. So here we're in spring. So after a few months, the snow has melted because in the spring, the weather starts to get warmer, so it melts away all the snow. So the birds fly, the sun shines, there's more sunlight in the spring, and the seeds grow so round and full they start to burst open a little. So now, because it's spring, and also in spring it rains. It rains a lot in the spring. It rains a lot, so seeds begin to grow from the water they're getting. So first, they send roots down on the earth. So first, the roots go down. So roots go down. So these are the roots. So first the roots go down. So these are the roots. So the roots go down into the earth. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun. So then the stem, the long stem starts to grow, and the leaves. So the stem, and then we get leaves. So first the roots, then the stem, and then the leaves begin to grow up. So the tiny seed is growing so slowly because it's so little. Will it grow in time? But it does. So let's see what else happens. Let's see. Maybe we're gonna learn what happens in the summer, because now it's spring. So the next season is summer. Let's see what happens. The warm weather also brings the children out to play. They too have been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child doesn't see the plants, and he runs along, and oh, he breaks one. Now it cannot grow anymore. So look what happens. So a kid is running, he's walking outside in the nice warm weather. But does he see the plant? He doesn't see the plant. And what happens? What does the boy do? The boy steps on top of the plant. Look, the boy is stepping on top of the plant. And he breaks the plant. Uh-oh. The boy breaks the plant. Uh-oh. So now the plant's broken. Once you break a plant, can it grow? No. So this is why we have to be careful with our plants. We have to take good care of them. If we're growing plants outside our houses, we have to be careful where we're walking, because we don't want to step on plants and break them. Because once the plant is broken, it's broken. It cannot grow again. It cannot grow again. So look, this is a broken plant, and it cannot grow. So this is why I have to be careful. Let's see what happens next. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, a bud, and now even a flower. But what is happening? First there are footsteps, then a shadow looms over them, then a hand reaches down. So now this is a tiny seed. So the tiny seed is so this tiny plant, so this is 2 seeds. So this is a tiny seed, and this is the neighbor. But the neighbor grew even faster. So the neighbor grew even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. So the tiny seed has 3 leaves, but this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 7 leaves. So the small little plant has 3 leaves, but the neighbor plant has 7 leaves. And look, a bud, and now even a flower. So now this is little seed. The little seed doesn't have a flower yet. It just has a stem and 3 leaves. But this is its neighbor. It has 7 leaves. Look, the flower grew. It has petals. And look how tall the flower is. And this is tiny little seed. And Look what's happening to the neighbor. What's happening? I see a hand. And what's the hand doing? It's trying to take the flower. So now this flower cannot grow anymore. But look, tiny seed is still little. And no one's taking it out of the ground because it still doesn't have a flower. So the little seed can still grow because it's still in the ground. But the neighbor plant cannot grow anymore. This plant cannot grow anymore because they're breaking it. They're taking the plant from the ground. So once you take it, it cannot grow. Then a shadow looms over them. Then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. So it's breaking off the flower. Let's see what happens next. A boy has picked the flower to give to a friend. So look, the boy is giving the flower to give to his friend. So he broke the flower and gave it to his friend. Look, gave it to his friend. And I'm sure his friend is happy that she's getting a flower. It is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and on. It doesn't stop. The sun shines on it and the rain waters it. It has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It is taller than the people. It is taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a gigantic flower. So look, now we are in the season of summer. So we start off with fall, then it was winter, spring, and now it is summer. So now it is summer. So now the teeny plant that came from a tiny seed, it grew on and on and on, and it didn't stop. So the sun shines on it. So the sun was shining on it. It was getting plenty of water. And look how tall it grew. So it has many leaves. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 leaves. It is taller than people. Look how short the people are. And look how tall this flower is. It is taller than people. It is taller than the trees. Look, look how tall the trees are. And look how tall the flower is. It is taller than the houses. Look, this is a house. Look how tall the house is, and look how tall the flower is. And now the flower grows on. And now a flower grows on him. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a gigantic flower. So now everyone comes and sees this flower because it is so tall. No one has ever seen a flower this tall before. It's even bigger than the houses, the trees, the people. So this is a big flower. So everyone comes and sees it. Everyone wants to go and see it. So this was a tiny little seed that turned into a big, tall flower. It was a tiny seed that turned into a big, tall flower. All summer long, the birds and bees and butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big, beautiful flower. So during the summer, birds and bees and butterflies all go to visit. So birds and bees and butterflies all go to visit the flower. They all go to visit the flower. But why do the bees go? What do the bees get from flowers? Nectar. Good. They get nectar. So all these animals go and visit the flower too. Not just people, animals go too. Now it is autumn again, so now it is fall again. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals stop from the giant, some petals drop from the gigantic flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. So now it is fall. So in the fall, the days grow shorter, and during the night it gets a lot colder, and we have more windy days. The leaves start to change colors. They go from green to red and yellow and purple and gold. So the leaves start to change colors. And then on flowers, the petals begin to fall off and fly along with all the other bright colored leaves. So look, the petals are falling off the flower. Look, this tall flower, look, the petals are starting to fall off and fly away along with the leaves. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower seed pod opens. Out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away on the wind. So now the wind blows harder. So the wind is blowing harder. It's blowing really hard. So the flower has lost almost all its petals. So look, almost all the petals have fallen off. There's only 2 more petals. 1, 2. And also the leaves. This leaf is about to fall off. It also sways and bends away from the wind. So look, the flower is moving left and right because of all the wind. So the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. So it's so windy that the wind shakes the flower. And all the shaking opens all the wind shakes the flower and opens the flower's seed pod. So this is the flower seed pod where all the seeds are, the flower seeds are. So the wind opens it up. Out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away on the wind. So look, the seed pod is open, and look what's coming out, seeds. So many seeds are coming out of the flower. So what do you think is gonna happen? Maybe these seeds are going to go on the same journey as the other seeds. Maybe these seeds are gonna try to find a warm area so they can turn into flowers as well. Let's see. The end.